Hello guys, what's up and welcome back. We got another episode again for our deck tech in the Pioneer format, and we're going to tackle again for the archetype under the control bracket, and we call this one as Jeskai Control by Gustavo Costa. It is one of the recent MTG online results that was done and finished in the top 8. And why not we take on the Jeskai, which means that we take on the 3 colors rather than just the typical blue-white control, blue-black control, or any other 2-color combination for this one. So just going to be a quick rundown. We have 4 artifacts in the deck. Instance is 19, that's a huge pile. 3 creatures, we have 6 planeswalkers, you can see here the variance, 3 sorcery, and 25 lands to cover it up. So first off, so if you are not yet familiar with the control deck, so their aim is basically just going to just control the board, start off, prevent your card advantage and board advantage, and then finish you off with some attacks from mana lands. We have also advantages, damage from planeswalkers, and of course from your deep and long game creatures such as Aurelia, the World Leader. So we're going to start off with why these card choices was preferred on this build. So starting off with artifacts, we only have 4, but 2 of which are basically spot removals early on. So Portable Hole here is just basically preventing target non-land permanent that can be able to exile those with mana value 2 or less until it does not leave the battlefield. So early on, not only to prevent early attackers, but also kill off some relevant shenanigans such as Witch's Oven and Occult Anvil. Next up is 2 copies of the Celestus. This is also sort of a mana fix because of its adding mana of any color for 3 colorless, but this is also sort of a ramp and as the option to get you the trigger whenever a day becomes night or night becomes day. You will gain life and draw a card, discard a card. So another card source, draw, life gain also, and that ramps you up to your big spells. Now before we go with the creatures, we're going to start with the instance. So probably in most of the control decks, this is a variance of spot removals, counter spells, and also card draws for this matter. So the card removal first off is 2 copies of Fairy Impulse. This is just a 1 to cast 2 damage to creature, but with Spell Mastery, wherein if you are having 2 or more instants in your graveyard or sorcery cards, you will deal 3 damage instead. Next up is 2 copies of March of Otherworldly Light. This is not only adjustable or more of a relevant spot removal because it will not only exile creatures but also artifact enchantments with mana value X or less. The bonus is that you can just pay the extra cards by tossing off any number of white cards from your hand, so that the spell would cost 2 less to cast for each of these cards exiled. Now next is 2 copies of Dovin's Veto. This is a sort of a negate that is very effective because it cannot be countered, so any relevant non-creature spells can be countered for only 2 mana. Next is 2 copies of the Fateful Absence. This is also another spot removal that can destroy creatures and planeswalkers, and thus the drawback is that you can have your opponents investigate, so they will create a clue artifact token wherein they can later on use this one to draw a card. And next is another solid counter spell, Absorb, with adjusted the colors of white and blue. It can counter target spell and you will gain 3 life. And we have also Prismatic Command. This is more of a spot removal-ish support card with the card draw effects that can also have you draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. You can deal 2 damage to any target and also destroy artifacts and also create treasure tokens. And we also have some mana ramp here in the form of Big Score. You can just discard a card to draw 2 cards and then create 2 treasure tokens. And the usual blue-white mid-game to late-game card draw is Memory Deluge. We have also Flashback here. And another spot removal or master removal in a say is Settle the Wreckage. This can exile all attacking creatures, target player controls, and then the player may search his or her library for that many basic land cards and it put it in the battlefield tap. And that is for your instance. It's basically a lot of instants at your disposal that you can use against your opponent's board and spells. We also have here sorceries. We're in 2 copies of Anger of the Gods as a cheap sweep for 3 damage that can exile creatures, and 1 copy of Farewell. This is a variance of exiling not only creatures but also artifacts, graveyards, and enchantments. Now for our creature choices, we take particularly first at Aurelia, the War Reader. So basically, she can win this one on her own because of her ability that whenever she attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures she control, and then after this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So in any instance that you can just resolve Aurelia, untap with her, and you have enough mana to protect her. For instance, you have Absorb or the Wind's Veto in your hand. She can just basically win it out on her own by dealing probably 6 damage each turn. Now, in addition to that, we still have another card advantage creature card in particular, and this is Italy Primal Conqueror. This ability that whenever it enters the battlefield, each player exiles card from the top of their library, and then until they exile a non-land card, and then you can be able to cast any number of spells from any number of those non-land cards exiled, but for free. So we'll be able to also transform this one by paying 9 and green, but in any instance you can just pay 9 and 2 life to flip it into Italy Primal Sickness and just basically attack with an 11/11 Trampler, and it is destructible that whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counter. So that's really one attack and your opponent is dead. So another option here that is sort of a threat and also a utility creature is Hullbreaker Horror. So this is a 7/7/8 flash. It can be countered, and whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1 return target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return target non-permanent to its owner's hand. So in any instance, you can do some combat shenanigans in here with these 2 options that whenever you cast a spell. In particular is also your instance, wherein you can just cast them at any time to wear off your opponent's any tricks or any plan that they have during their turn. So with the Planeswalker choices, we have 6. So we have 2 copies of Chandra, Swords of Defiance. This also can give you card advantage, and if that card won't be cast, you can deal 2 damage to its opponent. So basically some little damage clock here. And you can also clear off any creature by dealing 4 damage to it. Basically creature with 4 toughness or less, and in an instance that you can get an emblem that whenever you cast a spell, this emblem will deal 5 damage to any target. And that we have also Nahiri the Harbinger. This is a 4 to cast for 4 starting loyalty. You can also discard a card and draw a card by this +2, or you also have an removal by exiling target enchantment, top artifact, or top creature, and then a -8 ability that can search the library for an artifact or creature card, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle the library, and it will gain haste. And at the end of your next end step, return it to your hand. And of course, the Wandering Emperor, sort of a core planeswalker of the blue-white control decks. You can also do some spot removals by -2, creating also an army of samurai creature tokens, and also doing +1 counter on up to 1 dark creature and giving them first strike until the end of turn. Now for the lands, we have basically a good components here of some castle that can get you to generate this 1/1 human tokens. We have also Cave of the Frost Dragon, a sort of a manland to attack in the air for 3. Some mana fix, of course, Channel Lands, Iganju, Philibrowen is also here to do some answer to our enemies' manlands. Glacier Fortress, Hall of the Storm Giants again as another attacker. We also have Shacklands, Hollow Fountain, Basic Lands, Island Mountain, Otawara, also a Channel Land, Plains, and Ragrin Triumph, that is the color of the Jeskai, 2 copies. We also have Sacred Foundry, and Sukensan, and Steam Vents, and also Silver Falls to do the mana fix for the 3 colors. Now for the sideboard, just a quick rundown again. 2 copies of Abrade to deal also for any early creatures and can also destroy artifacts. 3 copies of Rest in Peace for graveyard shenanigans. 2 copies of Test of Talents. This is very effective for exiling discard spells such as Thoughtseize, wherein you can also search its controller's graveyard or hand and any number of cards with the same name, and you can exile them. Also, sorcery in particular that can be exiled is the Creativity or the Transmogrify. And 2 copies of Mystical Dispute that can also against other blue-white or blue-based decks that can counter it because it will only cost you 1 blue mana. 2 copies of Supreme Verdict against aggro that can sweep off their creatures, and also supported with it is 2 copies of Burn on the House. This is also effective to kill off Planeswalkers because it will not only deal 5 damage to creatures but also to this card, and also be able for you to create 3/1/1 level creature tokens if any instance that would need to have attackers on your board. And last but not the least, I think this one is Farewell, additional copies, so also to utility and help you out for any sweep or sweep plan to control your opponent's board. For the color setup, we have this one. Mana value is surprisingly low with 3.29. That's average 12 for mana value of 3 and 9 for 3 mana value. That's 9 and 12 mostly. So 21 on the average cards that cost 3 and 4. And color distribution, we have blue for 16, 20 for red, and white is 25. But the producer is pretty much even, 16 for blue, 18 for white, and 19 for red. And last but not the least, your tokens and extras. So we have 7 in particular: crew token, devil token, humans, samurai, spirit, and treasure. And also your extra, I think, is the emblem of Chandra, Torch of Defiance. So I guess that's about it for the Jeskai control deck. If you want variants in your Pioneer playtesting for MTG Online or for your local game stores, you can explore this build. If you have enough of the traditional blue-white, then you can add red for this to make it more interesting, and also we have some more strategy that you can apply for having the tricolor card advantage and board advantage with a Jeskai control deck build. So I guess that's about it, guys. Thank you for checking this another Pioneer deck tech for Deathmark TV. If you like this video, I suggest you click like and subscribe, notifications on, so that you can have also future videos to feature and also support for the channel. Again, guys, thank you for checking this video and see you on the next one.